Pixar has released their first teaser trailer for their animated feature film Soul, and after being absolutely captivated by what I saw, I knew there were so many questions we had to talk about. Who is this main character? What happened to him? And what are we going to discover about ourselves when we watch this film? If I had to guess, we are going to get another extremely intelligent and beautiful journey with Soul, which is why we're going to theorize, examine, and break down it all. Hello, I'm Isaac from What's So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people. On my channel, I focus on spreading magic by examining Disney films, so if you are new here, consider subscribing. The trailer opens up with the studio logos coming to life and the voice of Jamie Foxx asking, "What would you want to be known for on Earth?" Right away, Soul offers up a massive question about each individual's life, legacy, and purpose. It took the first few seconds they had with us and opened us up with our own thoughts and feelings and set the stage for what the characters we're going to witness are going to be looking to find. Then Pixar lays out some sweet music as we see a man playing the piano before we flash to a skyline over some water, which leads me to believe he's playing in the Big Apple, New York City. And this is a correct analysis. According to Disney, from months prior to this teaser, they stated that Pixar Animation Studios is taking us on a journey from the streets of New York City to the cosmic realms. But before we get into the cosmic realms Pixar will bring us to, we get a bit of horn in that music and then flash around to a diverse city that is likely taking place sometime around the present due to the cars, phones, and clothing. Next, we see people bustling, a police officer directing traffic, and pigeons soaring as the narrator continues to say that we only have a short time on this planet. Again, this teaser is setting up the idea that this adventure is going to focus on questioning what a person should do while they are alive, and that is pushed further by the next moments. After seeing a man zigzagging through groups of people on the sidewalk, a doctor walking, and a barber getting out of the chair, we are told that if you want to become the person you were born to be, then you shouldn't waste your time on the junk of life, which convinces the stockbroker with reminders, takeout pills, and energy drinks all over his desk to question what he is doing. We are then spoken to about the necessity of only spending your precious hours doing what will bring out the real us, as we see a woman sewing and another playing the trombone. I was very excited to see the trombone represent in this trailer since I played it in band in high school, but of course, that's not what the point of these scenes are. I'm getting the sense that they are saying we should channel our efforts into passions that make us happy, and honestly, I fully agree with that. If making music or crafting stories or recording films is what gets you excited about life, I totally think that you should make time to do that. I also think that if the stockbroker had loved his job and was obsessed about it in a positive way, that he should have totally continued to do that as well. You just have to know what brings out joy in you. We jump to a building where we see a variety of musicians memorialized on the wall and a woman surrounded by instruments playing the saxophone. We appear to be moving towards the stage and are then introduced to the main character of Soul, who is playing the piano on stage as he states everyone should be the brilliant, passionate version of themselves that's ready to contribute something meaningful to the world. This pianist is the man voiced by Jamie Foxx, who is, according to the description of the trailer on YouTube, named Joe Gardner. Not only did we find out his name though, but we also got some context on this man. You see, we are told we will learn at the beginning of Soul that Joe is a middle school band teacher whose true passion is playing jazz. He's described by co-director Kemp Powers as a person who is having a crisis that all artists have, who is increasingly feeling like his lifelong dream of being a jazz musician is not going to pan out, and he's asking himself, why am I here? And what am I meant to be doing? What we are seeing in the teaser is him taking action upon his dream. According to Disney's description of Soul, after years of longing to perform on stage rather than teach, Joe finally gets his big break after an open mic at the Half Note Club as he impresses the other players. Through the artwork on the wall of the place Joe is entering, how he carries himself as he plays the song on the piano we listen to throughout the teaser, and with the other musicians looking upon him, I think this is the moment that leads to the big break that we get to see Joe call his barber about. As the music picks up again, we find out that Soul is coming out next year, and specifically, just so you know, it's coming out on June 19th. And then we see Joe on the phone talking about how he got a gig while he walks past a group of peeled bananas, a pile of nails, and a huge sign that says falling prices. I'm sure that doesn't allude to anything. Then Joe explains to his barber that he needs a haircut today before a dog barks at him, which sends him to almost be hit by a scooter out in the street. Joe definitely avoided a long list of bad situations, but as soon as he feels at peace, he steps right into a manhole along with all of his music. Again, in the description of the teaser trailer, Pixar explains that in the film, just when Joe thinks his dream might be in reach, a single unexpected step sends him to a fantastical place where he's forced to think again about what it truly means to have a soul. My guess is that this fall sent Joe into a coma or into an almost fatal state, such that this person in the hospital from earlier could be him. Let me know in our journal down below if you think that person is Joe. I think that fall would have definitely put the body of our jazz pianist at risk, but what about his mind? Or more specifically, his soul? We see Joe's soul as a green-blue small curved entity smack down to a black void, almost as if his soul came right out of him and into this realm after falling down the manhole. Somehow his soul, that looks very similar to the entities inside our heads in Inside Out, has been accidentally separated from his body. Next, we see that soul is created by the studio that brought us Inside Out, who would have guessed, before we witness Joe question what's going on, which is followed by us seeing this film also comes from the people who gave us Up. The teaser flashes us back to Joe for a brief second until we see him standing on a large incline or staircase that exists in some void that looks similar to the surreal mystical dimension known as the world between worlds in Star Wars, as we hear the sound of his echoing hello. While I really enjoyed the aesthetic and the jazz that had come before, this entire void-like, weird, mysterious realm really got me excited as well. Where Joe's soul is standing looks a lot like the pathway Joe stands upon in the teaser poster, only there, those white marks are clearly meant to look like the keys of a piano. Somehow, someway, it appears that playing jazz as a pianist is going to lay the path that guides him along his journey to understand his soul. After seeing the storytellers who created Coco are creating Soul, which means that this film is likely supposed to be the next film that focuses on a more artistic, emotional, and unique story, Joe asks what you want to be remembered for as we see him look towards something. My best guess is he's looking towards the entrance to the next place we see him within. We flash to another small round-headed soul, voiced by Tina Fey, who Joe has actually been talking to throughout the entire teaser. I really liked how this teaser trailer was laid out, with Joe's transformation into his soul being shown to us, while only focusing on the dialogue of this one specific moment. This soul, who has some kind of small round circles on its chest that I don't understand, is the one he's been asking his thought-provoking questions to on the purpose of life. And all the soul has to say is that she would be fine with being known for her funny cowboy dance, which gets Joe really excited. She is said to believe that she doesn't think a life on Earth is all it's cracked up to be, as she, according to Disney and Pixar, has been stuck waiting to go there for eons. We also learn from Disney's released statements on the film that the place Joe's soul has ended up within because of his accident is known as U Seminar, a realm where he meets other souls in training that are said to help him find his way back to Earth. The producer of the film, Diana Murray, describes the comedy between Joe and 22 to come naturally, which is able to also preserve the subtle emotion that reveals the truth to the characters. While it seems like 22 won't know exactly what their purpose will be, likely indicating that's what they are going to have to figure out, playing piano on stage, I think, is what Joe will believe is his purpose, at least at the beginning of his story. I've got a feeling that Joe's story won't be as simple as pursuing his dream of being a professional jazz musician, because the story of Soul seems to be a lot bigger than just a tale of pursuing music. Much like how Coco was about Miguel, both discovering the musician within him while reuniting his family, I believe there will likely be more subtlety to the story we are going to witness. We have been asked by Disney and Pixar when they introduced this film if we have ever wondered where our passions, our dreams, and our interests come from. What it is that makes you, you. They want to bring us on an adventure that will guide us to discover the answers to life's most important questions. So I've got a feeling there's going to be much more to understand about both 22 and Joe. Joe seems to be a man who cares about the art form of jazz and his dreams. That's absolutely clear. So what will he come to grasp about who he has always been beyond all of that? According to Pete Docter, the chief creative officer at Pixar and the co-director of Soul, the idea for the story is 23 years in the making. He explains that the idea for this film started with his son because from the instant he was born, Pete thought he had already had a personality, so the director wondered where that came from. In his mind, he thought personality developed through a person's interaction with the world, and yet it was pretty clear that his son was born with a very unique, specific sense of who he was. Inspired by this realization, somehow Pixar is going to present us with their thoughts on where our souls come from and how understanding that can influence our lives on Earth, and I'm ecstatic for that. We then see the logo for Soul flash across the screen with ever-changing colors in the O until we get to see Joe for one last moment looking up to the sky. And then we are again reminded that this movie is coming soon. So there we have it. A passionate musician's soul is going to be removed from his body and will be forced to pair with another wandering soul to return home. And I am ready to see this. From the beautiful art to the focus on jazz music, I not only thought a lot about the drummer in Fantasia's 2000s Rhapsody in Blue, but also of all the fascinating avenues this movie could take us. I am so glad Pixar is returning to original stories again, and doing so in such a big way with Soul. They are asking massive, deep, and difficult questions, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for Joe, so we can watch his journey to inspire us to understand our souls a little bit more. So what did you think of the teaser? Let me know in our journal down below, and after you do that, be sure to subscribe, click the beautiful bell, and head on over to the recently relaunched Watso store with all new designs and absolutely premium products. The sweatshirts are incredibly soft especially, and I love how much comfier the premium tees are over the rest of my own t-shirts. There are 3 designs: the new Watso Videos design, the Following Dreams design after the name of my podcast, and is an idea that I fully believe in, and it seems Soul does too, and the Frozen themed It's Time to Let It Go design. With Frozen 2 coming this month, you better believe it's time to get hyped and start playing Let It Go again. And that would be perfect to do underneath the It's Time to Let It Go fleece blanket. But you only have a limited time to get these Frozen themed items. Those will only be available this November, and then they'll be gone and off watsostore.com for good. But to celebrate the exciting return of the Watso store and to give a big thank you to all of you who would like to get some merchandise right away, be sure to use code SOUL at checkout during the next week to get 10% off everything that you get from me. So if you enjoy these designs and the videos I create and would love to see Watso Videos grow to as large as it can be, make sure to go buy these designs at watsostore.com. Again, that's 10% off your order with code SOUL at WOTSOstore.com. And after you do that, let me know what you got by tagging me on any posts of you wearing the items at Watso Videos on Instagram. I hope you enjoy the new merchandise. Thanks for watching and have a magical day.